boy.
What's going on? What's going on? Thank you for tuning into the Mind of a Man show, where men and women discuss all things men. Hello, my name is James Bush. I am your Manversationist. Today, we got a special guest. First time on my show, little sis, man.
I'm excited.
My Virgo mate. We debate hard and heavy every time we get around, but it's all love in the end.
Always.
I've got Shaana Montana. Shaana Montana.
Shaana Montana.
What's going on, little sis?
What's going on? I'm glad to be here. First time, hopefully won't be the last time.
Most definitely. Yeah. I took a little while to get you on here,
but it's all right.
But that's all right, though. We about to get into something.
Yeah, we are.
So, Shaana, tell my audience, what all do you do?
All right, so I do a lot. I'm not one of them people, though, that's, jack of all trades, master of none. I try to be a jack of all trades, and I try to master things as I go. So, one, I do work in corporate America. I work for a certain institution, so that's my 9 to 5, quote unquote, but it's what I say allows me the ability and the financials to fund my dreams.
Okay.
And so that said, I am the creator and host of the relationship podcast, To Be Single or Not to Be. And we just closed out our 4th season, so I'm super excited about that. And I also have a YouTube channel, Shaana Montana YouTube channel. And all of what I do encompasses healthy and happy relationships. I'm a firm believer that in this life, we need love. It's a part of how we function, innately. But I think that so many people are walking around not really understanding that it starts within, the work that you have to do within yourself in order to show up in the right capacity so that when you get to a relationship, you know how to function in it. Overall, I deal with all things happy and healthy relationships, and I have the podcast, I have my YouTube, and of course I have my brands online where you can dive in and get a dose of me every single day.
Well, I've had a dose of her for a while now. But anyway, we've got a great show today. Today we are going to discuss her new show, which is awesome. And we're going to joke around a little bit in that. But first, it's game time.
All right.
Game time. It's 5 questions. 5 questions on topics you may think you know.
Okay.
But you really don't.
Okay.
You get all 5 right, you get some Mind of a Man show swag.
Okay.
If not, I will be abrasive to you for the remainder of the show. And beyond, because I'm always abrasive to you.
This is true. Okay.
All right, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Question number 1.
All right.
What ingredient makes cookies rise?
Flour?
No. No swag for you.
How am I getting the first one wrong? What's the right answer?
Baking soda.
Oh, God, I should have known. I just learned how to make homemade cookies, too.
You cook cookies
Yeah,
sometimes.
I
You be
do.
making cookies.
I didn't know which ingredient really make them rise. They got self-rising flour. It's like,
It wasn't that, it was baking soda.
Okay.
Question number 2. How many players are there in a standard American football team?
Like on the field?
Yes.
9?
No.
It's not? I'm thinking about baseball. I just watched the baseball play and they said that.
Okay.
Can I answer again?
What you got?
I don't really know.
The answer is 22.
It's
There's
literally
11 on offense, 11 on defense.
And I would have never got that right because I was thinking about just one side.
Okay,
I was strong and wrong. It's all right.
Okay. I think you got this one. I think you're going to get this one.
Come on.
Question, and I know you can get this one.
Okay.
Question number 3. What provides the red color in a tequila sunrise? Because I know you be making them drinks.
I do, but I don't really like mixed drinks. But is it grenadine?
That is correct.
That's a shame.
No
That's the one I get right.
No judgment.
Okay.
She got it. All right. Question number 4. I think she's going to get this one right, too.
Okay.
What U.S. state is home to the Catskill Mountains? I know you got this one.
Montana?
No.
Oh.
New York.
Oh, I was just there.
That's why I thought you was gonna get it. That's why I made.
Went to see the love of my life, but you know, I was focused on something else. You know.
Another one. Okay. Question number 5. Question number 5. Which U.S. state has the longest width, east to west? I know you got this one. You're a
Longest
traveler.
with east to west.
Yes.
I mean, California's pretty long. East
That's
to west.
north
though?
to south. Shane.
Oh, it is.
East to west.
East to west. Let's see. Is it Texas? No. Is it North Carolina, like the Carolinas?
No.
Oh. Clear all these. What is it?
It is Hawaii.
Oh, I would have never guessed that. Look, these questions are hard, you know. Clearly, I didn't pay attention to geography class, social studies.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Me and her are going to look at the geography book, man, to get some of this stuff together. Mind of a Man Show. What's going on? What's going on? Coming soon, we have one of my special delights. It's our Let's Have Manversation magazine. It's something that will stimulate the mental side of you. So if you are a brother or a sister that has a word of encouragement or a great story, contact us at letshavemanversation@gmail.com. That's letshavemanversation@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing you great stories. Looking forward to interviewing you guys as well. Take care. And we're back with Mind of a Man Show. So Shana, let's get into it. And this is where I want to get. No, I want to be serious, man. I can't be serious with you. Anyway.
We'll have our moments to be serious.
We'll have our moments. So I got a question for you.
Okay.
In the sea of relationship therapists, coaches, influencers
Yeah.
that have flooded social media, you went a little different.
I
noticed.
did.
Tell us where the concept of healing as a journey came from.
So where the concept of healing as a journey came from is, I'll just be very transparent because this is a part of my healing journey, to be vulnerable and open and just release fears. I got to a place in my I would say just my last relationship in 2022, where I had to come and face some truths about myself. And one of the largest truths that I realized about myself, I had gotten to this space of fear and this space of being inauthentic, where I really I was like afraid for anybody to leave me in a relationship. I got in a relationship and I feel like there was any threat or any space where you might want to leave it. I started to feel like, I had to do whatever. Like I'm like a dog scratching at the door. I had to do whatever to try to save the relationship, no matter how bad it might have been. And then the other side I realized was that I had gotten to a space where I really wasn't free in my relationships. What I mean by being free is not like being able to come and go as I please or spend money as I please, but really being able to show up 100% authentically as who I am and being able to stand 10 toes down on that, no matter who the partner was. Like even if it was, J.C. Williams, but I still would have to stand 10 toes down on that. So the thing was, in all seriousness, that I got to this place in my relationship where it was actually the other person who initiated us possibly going separate ways. And at first I was like, no. I want to do whatever it takes. Let's figure it out. But shortly after that conversation or that situation, I would say within like a week or so, I was able to take a lot of steps back from the situation and realize that this was actually a good thing because it woke me up in a way to realize that I had a lot of healing that I needed to do. And I realized that like the journey is not like a straight line. You have mountains, you have peaks. It's not a sprint, it's really a marathon. So you're on this journey that most times you're gonna be on it your whole life if you wanna be a student of learning and growth and getting better and really enjoying what this life is about. So I realized that it's no way I could stay in that situation because I could have faked the funk. You know, that's what a lot of people do. You know, it looked good on the outside looking in. It felt good sometimes. But I'm like, no, I want to be consistently happy with myself first, because if I'm not, you know, healed enough, because it's a journey, but you get to certain places and spaces where you feel the healing and you're able to apply it. But I was like, I got to be healed enough to just be happy with myself when I wake up in the morning, whether it's somebody next to me or not. And so I realized, like, this is something I have to share with the world, because as I started to have conversations with this, just like family and friends, and of course you're on social media and you start to see certain things, I found out it's so mainly, you know, a lot of women I had talked to were going through the same thing. So again, I'm like, it's no way that I can sit on this information and not share my story, because we know when you're transparent and you're vulnerable and you're open and you tell people your truth, that can heal people as well. So it is my healing journey, but it's really the healing journey of the world, because we all need to be on it.
How has the show been received so far?
It has been received wonderfully. Like, I told you that fear, I'm releasing it. I was afraid to do it at first, because it's like I had to get on there. You know, you go through a breakup, and in some ways people feel like that's embarrassing or it's a bad thing, but all this stuff is a risk. So if it works out or it don't, you know, you go through ups and downs, that's life. So I was so hesitant to do it. And so of course, I fought through that in my healing, worked through that, trusted myself, trusted the people around me. And when I tell you, from, I would say people my parents' age, people in that age group, my younger, say nieces and stuff, people my age, like every age group was coming back to me, men and women, like Shaana. I am loving this series. I am learning so much. I am growing so much. And each episode, I would say, was close to about an hour or so. It was like everybody was saying, even if I couldn't take everything from what you were saying, like each episode, I got something from it. So the reception was great, and it was just confirmation that it was, you know, what I was supposed to do and what I'm supposed to continue doing. So
with that being said, what are some common misunderstandings about a woman's healing journey that you see men struggle with?
So I would say some misconceptions, or just things that I see men struggle with, is understanding, one, kind of like I mentioned earlier, I'll start there, that it's not a linear thing. So I've dealt with a person who shall remain nameless, that say if on Monday I wake up and, you know, I'm like, oh, I'm doing good with my journey, I'm doing good whatever space I'm in, and we have a great day. And then Wednesday comes, and say I'm in a funky mood, I'm, you know, I'm not on that same, I ain't on that healing journey that day, you know, for whatever reason. But they want to hold you accountable to, you know, I saw how you were on Monday. Why can't you just be like you were on Monday? Why are you like that today? So I give that example to say that in relationship, or just a situationship, whatever it is, they have to understand that it's going to be ebbs and flows. It's mountains and valleys. It's going to go up and down. Again, it's a journey. So it's not, it's just like any success you have. You don't go straight to the top. You know, you go up, down, you figure it out.
Okay, but how is a man to support his female counterpart in that space?
I got you. So how they support that is, one, communication. They need to be having consistent and persistent conversations with this woman about what is going on in her healing journey, because everybody's look different. We all on one, but no one is made the same. So what is your healing journey? I'll talk about myself. My healing journey was dealing with getting over fears, being authentic. Talk to your person about what it is that they are going through. Ask them, how can you show up and support them? Because as you talk to them, you may find, like in my relationship, we can't be together. So you may find that as you talk through it, that this is not it, and that's okay. But if you aren't having communication, if you aren't being honest with one another, you'll just go along to get along, and you'll wind up, you really won't be doing any healing. So that's number one. You have to communicate. The second part, for the first part, what I was saying at first, was that you have to understand it goes up and down. It doesn't look the same every day. And if you're communicating, you'll know that. You'll be okay with that. Your partner will tell you that. I woke up in a mood, I don't really know, but you know, this, I need a little space, you know, because I've learned that I used to be a person that didn't want a partner to process things away from me. Like, you know, we get into it and people are like, I gotta go in another room, or I gotta think about it. I used to be, let's solve it now. Now I am the process queen. I need to process everything, and I need to recalibrate. We may need to go to different states, not just different rooms. So you have to communicate that. And then I think the other side is for a person to recognize that, you know, no person stays the same in life. So, and it's not saying that just because your partner is on this journey and going through these things that you have to be as well. But I think it does not hurt to say, if your woman is going through something, she's going through therapy, for you to do a little self-evaluation to see if, not saying you have to, if there's something that you need to be working on, or if there's something that you guys need to be working on. Because I promise you, a lot of times if a woman is in some kind of therapy, on some kind of healing journey, I'll bet $1 that y'all got something that y'all need to be working on as well. And so that's another way that they can join in to support, is by finding out, okay, you're working on that. He may say, okay, I'm good in this area. I don't necessarily need, maybe as in-depth therapy, however you want to put it. But the support also looks like, what can I do for us to support us during this time as well, that you are going through something that may be singular, that you're the only person in therapy, you're deeper in the healing than I am, because, we have different lives, different trauma, different things of that nature. So it's the communication, it's the honesty, it's the understanding that it's ebbs and flows to it, and it's understanding of the place that they fit in. And I think the biggest one, most of all, people have to understand, because people are so afraid of this, you may wind up going on a healing journey and going on it with a boyfriend or girlfriend, husband or wife, and walking out of it by yourself. And you and the way you get through that, is with what I was talking about, that fear and that being free. If you work through that and you get past the fear, you get past the freedom, you realize you're gonna be okay. I ain't saying it's easy. I'm not saying it's not gonna hurt, but you realize you will be okay. You always will. We always are.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I need a healing journey from that long response. We'll be right back.
Slow down.
Mind of a Man Show. What's going on? What's going on? Coming soon, we have one of my special delights. It's our Let's Have Manversations magazine. It's something that will stimulate the mental side of you. So if you are a brother or a sister that has a word of encouragement or a great story, contact us at letshavemanversation@gmail.com. That's letshavemanversation@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing you great stories. Looking forward to interviewing you guys as well. Take care. And we're back with Mind of a Man Show. So Shaana, I'm healed now after that long journey.
I know you are.
Question number 3.
Okay.
We hear so much from social media or helpers that one needs to heal. From your expertise, how does one know if they have completed their healing journey?
They haven't. Start there. It is no completion. I'm telling you, you can get to a space where you're doing really well, because I know people that are doing really well right now that are not in heavy therapy. They may not even have a therapist, because they've developed the tools, they read the books, they actually apply it. So you're not always gonna be in this space where you gotta see a therapist every other week. You have to, you on medication, because sometimes it takes that, you deep off in these things. But I think it's a process where you are continuously healing from life, because guess what? You know this, as we go through life, your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, whatever you're blessed to get to, every stage looks different. Every stage has its own things that you're dealing with. I was talking to some of my family members recently about, you have these, I have sisters that are a little bit older than me. They have these, we're millennials, and it's Gen X, whatever the young 20-year-olds. Yeah. So I'm like, y'all healing from y'all mamas, and y'all mamas healing from y'all. I'm like, so it's always something that is going on. So I don't think it's anything that you get to a finish line. I think if you do enough work and you are honest enough with yourself, you'll realize that you get to a place where you are consistently doing well. Okay. I think that is the goal, to get to a place where it's like, I can stop taking my ashwagandha root. That's my medication. That's over the counter, But I don't have to, I ain't got to see my therapist 3 times a week. I can I'm not afraid to be in a relationship anymore.
So those so what you're mentioning, those are tangible signs that you are healing.
Absolutely.
You haven't arrived, but you are healing.
You are healing when you are able to, I feel like, release certain things and encounter certain situations, because I used to feel like, because I had been in therapy many years before, and I would go through therapy, say 6-7 months. I'm like, oh, I'm good. But in 6-7 months, I hadn't really had anybody or anything to test it to see if I was good.
That's what I be saying.
Yeah, so I'm like, how do you know you good? And you went to, a lot of times I was going to therapy behind relationships. I think I'm doing okay. A relationship go left, now I'm back in therapy. I say I'm done with therapy, but I haven't tried a relationship. So I get in a relationship, and I realize, 2-3 months in, what am I doing? Like, because everything I thought I had learned and everything I thought I was able to apply, I really had not, mastered it enough to walk away from therapy, or really to probably be in a relationship. That's the other part people want to talk about. I had no business in those relationships I was in at the time, because I was not in a good enough space where I needed to be interacting with somebody. So in that capacity. So I think the huge sign I feel like to know if you are in a healed enough space is, are you afraid of the outcome of this relationship? Like we mentioned before, relationships come and go. Are you afraid this person gonna leave? Are you afraid that if you do this certain thing, they aren't gonna like it? And mind you, I'm gonna get this caveat. I understand you're in a relationship, you make certain compromises, you move certain ways. But at the core of who you are, I was just telling a friend, we were in New York, a couple weeks ago, and we were up just in the hotel lobby. It's guys and girls, we're up talking, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. At that time, you're talking about life, all kinds of stuff. And so I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody that if they weren't here and called me and I'm sitting down here in the lobby, they got a problem with it, that I'm up with my friends at 2 o'clock in the morning, because I know people in relationships that would be a problem. And they don't like it. So that's the other part I'm going to say. It ain't a problem if you're okay with it, but most times people are not okay with it, and that's what they don't want to say. So you have to be free enough. Like I said, I ain't gonna say his name again, but the love of my life, if he had a problem with what I'm doing, then you have to be able to say, like, I'm standing 11 toes down on how I feel and who I am, and I'm not moving from this, especially, we're not even in a relationship. We show up 3 months in, and you were already doing a back bend for somebody you don't hardly even know. So it's like, I'm not doing none of that. You cannot make me bend in any way I don't want to until we have built enough trust in a relationship anyway for me to know that, okay, this is a safe space, and this thing that this person is asking me to compromise or change or whatever is something that I think would benefit me too and would be good, and I'm okay with that. But before we even get there, that's a huge sign. The fear? People do stuff out of fear, do it out of love. And it's hard a lot of times people to admit that fear part, because that was me for so long. And I'm still working through that. I'm not gonna say I'm unafraid of everything, but I've conquered a lot. But that's a huge part. What are you afraid of? Are you afraid this person's gonna leave? But then that's another conversation, because if you got a person threatening you to leave, then I don't know what y'all doing, no way. But that's a big indicator as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So my part B to that question. When are you healed enough to be in a relationship?
That's a great question. When are you healed enough to be in a relationship? That is going to come down to 2 things, but one I really want to talk about. When you feel free enough to show up in spaces as who you are, and we kind of touched on this earlier, but I think that let me back up. When are you healed enough? I want to say you are healed enough first when you know very specifically what it is that you want in a partner. And the only way many times we're going to identify what that is when we've let go of those toxic things we used to like. We let go of our own toxic behaviors, and we're able to sit with ourselves and come up with it. Because I've talked to girlfriends and said, if God came on or right now stepped in front of you and said, I'll give you the husband that you want, but you got to tell me exactly how to make him. Are you ready? I ain't found a woman yet that told me yes. So number one, you have to be healed enough to know specifically what you want, and you're not going to know in a healthy way what you want if you have not done the internal work to know that all those men, because many times women, we date the same kind of man, all those men that you were dating and it didn't work, it wasn't just because Pookie wouldn't take you on a date all the time. It wasn't just because you didn't like this one little thing. It's a deeper rooted issue there. And until you get past that, you're going to keep dating and picking the same person. Because I did it. Insanity. I kept dating the same guy over and over and over until I got to that space. So you have to be able to be specific enough, and being specific is only going to come from you doing the work to be honest with yourself, to say, too, to know when I'm ready to jump out there and even choose this specific person, to know that, okay, I'm in a space right now where I'll say personally, like I'm recalibrating right now. Like I don't want to date anybody because I am still figuring out what I want my relationship to look like. And I'm figuring out how I want to show up in my next relationship. So I think you have to be sure of yourself and understand what that looks like. And then the other part that I mentioned earlier was around the freedom piece. So many people hear that word, and I want you all to really understand what that means. To be free to be who you are is being able to show up in any single space and say that this is Shaana Worlds. This is what comes. I'm smart, but I'm loud. I'm outgoing. I like to drink on the weekends. I like to travel. I like to, I like to get into great debates. I like to do all these things. And guess what? I don't care if that person that I envisioned earlier, that I said that specific person, they walk up on me and they see those 20 things that say that encompasses who I am. And they say, well, I could be with you, but you got to get rid of 5 of them. Women will be like, okay, let me strip off them 5 he said he don't want.
Well,
So
no. But do they really strip it off? Because sometimes
let me tell you this. So this the part. Let me get that. So we'll strip it off for a little while.
That's right.
We'll strip out for a little while, but that's why you got to be free enough to say, I'm not gonna strip. I'm not stripping out nothing because I can't do this. Because I always say the other part that you want to date somebody that kind of likes what you like and align with what you like. Because you could do anything for a little while. That's like you liking somebody. You saying, oh, I'm gonna make all these compromises. You're gonna do it for a little while. And somebody gonna get mad after a while. And somebody gonna start tripping after a while. Somebody might start cheating after a while. It's so many layers to that. So that's why I say being free to be who you are, because we will start stripping off all these layers and say, okay, I'm going to be exactly what this man said that he wants me to be, because this is what I've been told a wife should be or a girlfriend should be, and that's only going to last for so long. So you got to be at a space where you're able to say, no, I don't care what you are saying. Again, you are a stranger. I literally just met you not long ago. I'm getting to know you, and you have known me for all of 2.5 seconds, and you already telling me to change something about myself. That tells me you're not going to allow me to be who I am, so I'm not going to be free in this relationship. So that's what that means. Can you show up free? Can you show up authentically? I have to show up as, if I cannot show up as all of me, and I know some people may push back on that and say, well, you got to make some changes. I will. When I get to know you and I find out I can trust you, and those are changes that are beneficial to us both. I'm not doing nothing just for nobody solely no more. So that's what it comes, that freedom, being specific and doing enough healing to know when you're ready. Because if you just jumping out there because you've been single for 6 months, then you're going to be single in another 6 months.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we need another commercial break. And I need another healing process.
You know what?
Because after she done just done that.
Need a tequila sunrise.
Tequila sunrise with the grenadine.
Yeah.
Or Uncle Tito.
Yeah.
We'll be back. Mind of a Man Show. What's going on? Coming soon, we have one of my special delights. It's our Let's Have Manversation magazine. It's something that will stimulate the mental side of you. So if you are a brother or sister that has a word of encouragement or a great story, contact us at letshavemanversation@gmail.com. That's letshavemanversation@gmail.com. Looking forward to hearing you great stories. Looking forward to interviewing you guys as well. Take care. And we're back with Mind of a Man Show. So it's time for me to kick her out now. Shaana, tell my audience where they can find you.
Where they can find me. So you guys can find me first and foremost or at my website, www.shaanamontana.com. And that is ShaanaMontana. And you can also find me on Instagram and Facebook by the same name, Shaana Montana. I make it very easy, Shaana Montana across the board. And then that will lead you to the podcast, but I'll share that page as well. So on Instagram, To Be Single or Not To Be. So that's TOBESINGLEORNOTBE. I had to think about it for a second. But it's exactly like it sounds. Like nothing is short in every word, to be single or not to be. So Shaana Montana or To Be Single or Not to Be. But if you go to the website I mentioned first, everything is there. That's the home of it all.
I feel like that was like MICKEY.
Don't play with me.
No, they're not getting no money from us. Well, Shaana, little sis, man, I appreciate you coming through.
It's been a pleasure.
This will not be the last time. Definitely more stuff we're going to do in the future.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming through.
It's been a pleasure.
What's burning on the bush is next. So I want to make a public service announcement. Everybody is human. Nobody has this thing called life figured out. Not your pastor, not your bishop, not your prophet, not your clergyman, not your president, nobody. Let's normalize making mistakes because we all make them. And then also too, let's normalize having grace and extending grace to one another. Why? Because grace is a safe space for people to land in, not to be abused, but for them to know that they have not missed the mark so much where they can't find love and compassion. So let's normalize these things. Yes, your brother, your sister, things happen. But is it to the detriment where we want to cut off relationships? People in the time of need, people who need that love. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are so individualistic. You know that word, right? We're about us instead of being about the community. Let's do a better job. And we'll see what happens. Take care.